Hello, Mark.
Hello, this is Mark Holmes. I'm the editorial director of Via Satellite and Satellite Today. I have with me Joseph Teixeira, Inmarsat's Vice President of Aviation Safety and Cybersecurity. Joseph, I want to talk a little bit about the recent decision on behalf of the US government and accountability office regarding their choice of ADSC. And from your perspective and an Inmarsat perspective, how important was this decision?
The report itself, I think it's very significant in that for the first time, we had an independent agency that doesn't have any financial interests in the outcome of Ariane or any other technology, really look at the critical elements of any new technology for aviation, which is cost, safety, and operational implications. And they did a fantastic job looking at all of those things, consulting with all the stakeholders, from users of the technology to international bodies and regulators. And they laid out an excellent report to help people make decisions. Um, it is also important because it finally debunks a lot of the claims that have been made for the past 3 years about how this technology does X, Y, and Z, which in fact he may at some point do all those things, but he doesn't do it today. So we feel it is significant, and there is really a reaffirmation that Inmarsat does provide a good service. It keeps up with innovation, and it's ready to continue to provide better services in the future.
And I mean, aviation safety and cybersecurity, as we know, at our recent Global Connected Aircraft Summit is a really big topic. As one of the key operators in this area, and even with your job title of aviation safety and cybersecurity, what have been sort of the trends in terms of making sure that the technology is secure, and what will Inmarsat do next?
So just like on the ground, the appetite for more and more bandwidth and more data exists everywhere. And the manufacturers and other companies are maximizing services to aircraft that are fueled by robust data coming from the aircraft. And even ATC and all the efficiency for the aircraft in the future relies on more and more data. So Inmarsat last year launched Swift Broadband Safety, which is an IP-based broadband communications to the cockpit, and is the first and only at this point service that provides encryption and authentication for all communications from the aircraft, and it's all IP-based. So it really is, it represents the best of cybersecurity that we have available today in SATCOM.
What do you see as sort of the future for sort of space-based ADSB now? I mean, obviously this was I guess it could be seen as a key victory for Inmarsat, but what about do you think there's a possibility that the US government and the FAA could look to use other technologies like this in the future?
Well, I am not suggesting that there is no future for space-based ADS-B. I think that there are many, many applications for space-based ADS-B, and the technology capturing those signals from space differs considerably from capturing them from land. So there are some wrinkles to be worked out. There are a lot of certifications to go through, and there are concepts of operation that need to be developed around that. It will just take time. So I am sure that engineers at Ariane and Iridium will solve all of these problems in time. It's just not quite there today, but I'm fully confident that there'll be a use for it.
And finally, let's talk a little bit about Inmarsat's aviation business. I obviously understand it's a very important part of what you're doing, one of the big growth engines for the company. Can you sort of describe us what you've got on deck over the next sort of 6 to 12 months, and what we might be hearing from Inmarsat in this area?
So we enter the cabin space and the broadband services for passengers about 3 years ago. We are number two in that space now. We continue to have tremendous innovation in that space, and we are growing very fast. We hope to continue to expand that. We launched more satellites. We just announced 3 more satellites in that space. We're going to provide completely global coverage where the traffic is demanding. And for the cockpit, we continue to evolve down this new road of IP communications. And we are awaiting international standards for the air traffic network communications from the global industry. But we are ready at the table helping develop those standards. So we intend to keep pace with the needs of the industry and to be just ahead so that when those standards come out, we're ready.
Excellent. Well, Joseph Teixeira of Inmarsat, thank you very much for your time today, and look forward to talking more about this technology in the future.
Thank you very much, Mark.